A missile faster than anything you've seen, traveling at Mach 15, capable of outsmarting the most advanced defenses and reaching its target in just seconds. That's Iran's Fatah-1, a hypersonic weapon that has military experts on edge. Unveiled in 2023, this missile doesn't just threaten its targets, it challenges the very idea of invincibility in modern defense systems. If even the United States and Israel's cutting-edge technology can't stop it, what happens next? What makes hypersonic missiles so dangerous? Imagine a missile that can travel faster than the speed of sound, 5 times faster to be exact. Sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, right? Well, hypersonic missiles are very real, and they're changing the way the world thinks about warfare. These are not your typical weapons. They're faster, smarter, and much harder to stop. Hypersonic missiles don't just break the sound barrier, they shatter it. These weapons can travel at Mach 5 or faster, meaning they cover over a mile every second. Now, Iran's Fatah-1 missile takes this to an even scarier level, with speeds reportedly reaching Mach 15. To put that into perspective, it's like crossing the entire United States from coast to coast in just a few minutes. That kind of speed doesn't just make the missile incredibly fast, it makes it nearly impossible to detect and intercept in time. By the time radar systems spot the missile, it's often already too late. But speed is just one part of the story. What really sets hypersonic missiles apart is their maneuverability. Most traditional missiles follow a predictable, straight path, like a line drawn on a map. Defense systems rely on this predictability to track and intercept them. Hypersonic missiles, on the other hand, can change direction mid-flight. They can zigzag, dodge, and weave, making them incredibly unpredictable. It's like trying to catch a fly buzzing around in a room. It's fast, erratic, and hard to pin down. This maneuverability is a nightmare for missile defense systems, which are designed to intercept objects that stick to a straight or slightly curved trajectory. Now, you might wonder how hypersonic missiles compare to other advanced weapons like intercontinental ballistic missiles, ICBMs. After all, ICBMs are even faster, capable of reaching speeds of Mach 23. But here's the catch. ICBMs are like arrows shot from a bow. They follow a predictable ballistic trajectory, soaring into space before coming back down toward their target. Because of this, defense systems have a better chance of tracking and intercepting them. Hypersonic missiles, however, combine speed with agility. They don't just fly in a straight line. They glide, swoop, and twist. This makes them the ultimate wildcard in modern warfare. Fast, unpredictable, and deadly. What makes this combination of speed and maneuverability so dangerous is how it challenges existing defense systems. Current missile defense networks, like Israel's Iron Dome or the US's Aegis system, are incredibly advanced. They're built to track and shoot down incoming threats before they reach their target. But these systems are designed with traditional missiles in mind. Hypersonic missiles throw a wrench into the system by moving so quickly and unpredictably that the window to respond shrinks dramatically. Even the best defenses struggle to adapt in time. The potential implications of hypersonic missiles are staggering. Think about a scenario where a hypersonic missile is launched toward a critical target, a military base, a city, or even a naval fleet. The target's defenses might detect the missile, but they'll have mere seconds to decide how to respond. And even if they launch an interceptor, there's no guarantee it will catch the hypersonic missile in time. This creates a terrifying dynamic in modern warfare where the first strike could be decisive, leaving little room for countermeasures. This is why countries around the world are pouring billions of dollars into developing hypersonic technology or countering it. The stakes are simply too high. These weapons are not just faster versions of what we already have. They represent a fundamental shift in how wars could be fought. With their unparalleled speed and agility, hypersonic missiles could render existing defense systems obsolete, forcing nations to rethink their strategies from the ground up. Iran's Fatah-1 missile, a closer look. It's not just another missile, it's a bold declaration of military ambition. Unveiled in June 2023 by President Ebrahim Raisi himself, the Fatah-1 has grabbed global attention for all the right reasons, or wrong ones, depending on where you stand. It's Iran's first hypersonic missile, and if the claims are accurate, it's a game changer. First, the speed. This is where the Fatah-1 really shines. Most hypersonic missiles are already impressive because they can travel at Mach 5 or faster, 5 times the speed of sound. But Fatah-1 takes it to a whole new level with a reported speed of Mach 15. That's about 11,500 miles per hour. Imagine this. A missile could cross the entire United States in just a few minutes. This kind of speed makes Fata 1 not only fast, but also extraordinarily dangerous because it reduces the time for any defense system to detect, track, and intercept it. By the time a radar picks it up, it's probably too late. The technology behind Fata 1 is equally fascinating. It uses a combination of scramjet engines and hypersonic boost glide systems. Scramjet engines are remarkable because they have no moving parts, relying instead on supersonic airflow to generate thrust. This makes the missile incredibly efficient and capable of maintaining those insane speeds. The hypersonic boost glide system adds another layer of sophistication. First, a rocket engine propels the missile to an incredible speed and altitude. Then, the missile detaches from the rocket and glides through the atmosphere at hypersonic speeds, using air currents for added lift. This dual approach allows the Fata 1 to maintain its speed and maneuverability over long distances. Another feature that makes the Fata 1 stand out is its stealth capability. It has a reduced radar cross-section, meaning it's designed to be harder to detect by radar systems. Think of it as a missile wearing an invisibility cloak. It's not entirely invisible, but it's much harder to spot until it's dangerously close to its target. This stealthiness, combined with its speed, makes it a nightmare for even the most advanced defense systems. Now, let's talk about the implications. The Fata 1 isn't just a technological marvel, it's also a political statement. By unveiling this missile, Iran is sending a clear message to its adversaries, particularly the US and Israel. We're here, and we're capable. The Fata 1 has the potential to bypass advanced missile defense systems, like Israel's Iron Dome or the US's Aegis system. These systems are considered some of the best in the world, but the speed and maneuverability of a hypersonic missile like the Fata 1 make interception a daunting challenge. If the Fata 1 can truly live up to its claims, it could undermine the perception of military invincibility that these nations have long enjoyed. But it's not just about challenging military might, it's also about shifting the balance of power. Hypersonic missiles like the Fata 1 don't just change how wars are fought, they change who has the upper hand. For Iran, a country often viewed as a regional underdog, developing such advanced weaponry is a way to assert itself on the global stage. It's saying, we can compete with the big players, and that's a message no one can ignore. Of course, there are still questions surrounding the Fata 1. Has it been tested extensively, or are the claims more about posturing than proven capability? Without comprehensive public tests, some experts remain skeptical, but even the possibility that Iran has achieved this level of technological advancement is enough to make other nations sit up and take notice. Is the Fata 1 truly hypersonic? You might think it's all about speed, Mach 5 and above, right? Well, that's an important factor. It's only part of the story. For a missile to truly earn the hypersonic title, it needs to do more than just move ridiculously fast. It has to combine sustained speed with incredible maneuverability and follow a flat flight trajectory. That's the magic formula that makes these missiles such a big deal in modern warfare. But here's the catch. Just because a missile claims to hit hypersonic speeds doesn't necessarily mean it meets all the criteria. And that's where the Fata 1 raises some eyebrows. Iran announced the Fata 1 with a lot of fanfare back in June 2023. They claimed it could reach Mach 15, which is undoubtedly impressive. But speed alone doesn't tell the whole story. A truly hypersonic missile has to maintain that speed while maneuvering mid-flight, dodging defense systems, and gliding along a carefully controlled trajectory. That's what makes hypersonic weapons so terrifying. They're not just fast, they're unpredictable. The question is, does the Fata 1 tick all these boxes? One big red flag is the lack of public testing. Iran has revealed very little about the Fata 1's actual performance. Sure, they've shown off its engine on the ground, but we haven't seen the missile in action. Without real-world tests to demonstrate its capabilities, it's hard to know if the Fata 1 can truly maintain hypersonic speeds while navigating complex flight paths. Compare this to countries like the US, which conduct rigorous testing of their hypersonic systems to prove their effectiveness. Iran's silence on this front leaves a lot of room for skepticism. Some experts have also drawn comparisons between the Fata 1 and Russia's Iskander missile. The Iskander can reach speeds of Mach 5, but it falls short of being a true hypersonic weapon because its maneuverability is limited. It follows a more traditional ballistic trajectory, making it easier to track and intercept. The Fata 1 might face similar limitations. Without without evidence to the contrary, there's a chance that it's more like a souped-up ballistic missile than a groundbreaking hypersonic weapon. So, could the Fata-1 be a bluff? It's possible. Iran has a history of using bold announcements to assert its strength on the global stage, even if the reality doesn't quite match the hype. That's not to say the Fata-1 isn't a significant development. It's still a powerful weapon. But whether it's truly a game-changing hypersonic missile remains to be seen. Without independent verification or extensive testing, it's hard to separate fact from fiction. Fata-1 versus global defense systems. Countries like Israel and the US have poured billions into creating multi-layered defense networks that are designed to intercept everything from short-range rockets to intercontinental ballistic missiles. But can these systems handle something as fast and unpredictable as the Fata-1? That's the big question. Take Israel, for example. Its defense systems are among the most advanced in the world. The Iron Dome is famous for intercepting short-range rockets with incredible accuracy. Then there's David's Sling, which handles medium-range threats, and the Arrow system, designed to counter long-range ballistic missiles. Together, these systems create a layered shield that's supposed to keep Israel safe from almost any aerial threat. But hypersonic missiles like the Fata-1 could change the game. Unlike traditional missiles, which follow predictable paths, the Fata-1's speed and maneuverability make it far harder to track and intercept. Imagine a missile zigzagging at Mach 15. It's like trying to catch a fly with chopsticks while it's moving at lightning speed. The Iron Dome and its counterparts might find themselves outmatched. The US faces a similar challenge. While America has some of the most sophisticated defense technology in the world, its systems are primarily designed to counter ballistic missiles. Hypersonic threats are a different beast altogether. The US has been working on new technologies to address this, but they're still playing catch-up. For example, systems like THAAD, Terminal High Altitude Area Defense, and the Aegis Combat System are incredibly effective against traditional threats, but they're not foolproof against something as advanced as the Fata-1. If Iran's missile can truly perform as advertised, it could potentially slip past even these robust defenses. Now, let's paint a scenario. Picture a Fata-1 missile heading toward a strategic target, say, a major city or a military base. The radar picks it up, but because of its incredible speed, the window to respond is razor thin. Defense operators scramble to launch an interceptor, but the Fata-1 changes direction mid-flight, evading the countermeasure. Within seconds, it's at its target. The sheer chaos and destruction such an attack could cause are hard to overstate. This is the nightmare scenario that keeps defense planners awake at night. The implications of a missile like the Fata-1 go beyond just military tactics. They touch on geopolitics too. If hypersonic weapons become widespread, they could undermine the balance of power that's kept major conflicts at bay. Defense systems that were once considered impenetrable might no longer offer the same level of protection, forcing nations to rethink their strategies and investments. The global hypersonic arms race. The race to dominate hypersonic missile technology is like a high-stakes poker game where the buy-in is billions of dollars, and the prize is nothing less than military supremacy. Hypersonic missiles are changing the face of warfare, and no major power wants to be left behind. The United States has always prided itself on staying ahead in military innovation, and hypersonic technology is no exception. Over the past few years, the US has poured billions of dollars into developing hypersonic weapons. This isn't just about adding new toys to its arsenal. It's about staying competitive in a rapidly changing battlefield. One of the most talked about projects is the AGM-183A, Air-Launched Rapid Response Weapon, or ARRW for short. This missile is designed to be launched from aircraft and can reach speeds of up to Mach 20. Just imagine that, 20 times the speed of sound. It's meant to strike targets quickly and with precision, making it a crucial piece of the U.S. hypersonic strategy. Another major development is the Long-Range Hypersonic Weapon, LRHW. This missile is ground-launched and has an incredible range of about 1,725 miles. That's roughly the distance between New York and Denver. The LRHW is designed to hit high-value targets deep inside enemy territory, giving the U.S. a powerful offensive tool. With projects like these, it's clear that the U.S. is investing heavily to ensure it stays ahead in the hypersonic game. But here's the thing. It's not just about having the technology, it's about having it before your rivals do. And speaking of rivals, let's talk about Russia. and China. These two nations aren't sitting on the sidelines. In fact, they've already demonstrated hypersonic capabilities that have caught the world's attention. Russia, for example, has the Avangard hypersonic glide vehicle, which can reportedly reach speeds of Mach 27. That's mind-blowingly fast. Russia claims this weapon is already in service, making it one of the first countries to deploy hypersonic missiles operationally. Then there's China, which has been rapidly advancing its hypersonic program. The DFZF hypersonic glide vehicle is one of its standout projects, and tests suggest it's a formidable weapon. Both nations see hypersonic missiles as a way to counter U.S. military dominance and level the playing field. So, why does all this matter? The stakes in the hypersonic arms race go far beyond just military bragging rights. These weapons are not only incredibly fast and precise, they're also tools of geopolitical leverage. Imagine being a nation with the ability to strike anywhere in the world within minutes. That kind of capability changes the balance of power. For countries like the US, Russia, and China, falling behind in hypersonic technology could mean losing strategic advantage. It's not just about defense, it's about influence, deterrence, and the ability to shape global events. What makes this race even more intense is the fact that hypersonic missiles are also incredibly hard to defend against. Traditional missile defense systems struggle to intercept them because of their speed and maneuverability. This means that whoever dominates this technology could hold a significant advantage in future conflicts. But it also raises a troubling question. If hypersonic missiles make defense nearly impossible, does that increase the likelihood of preemptive strikes? It's a chilling thought, but one that underscores just how high the stakes are. In the end, the global hypersonic arms race isn't just about who has the best technology. It's about shaping the future of warfare and redefining global power dynamics. The competition is fierce, and the consequences of falling behind are too great for any major power to ignore. The bigger picture, Iran's intentions, and regional tensions. Iran's Fateh-1 missile isn't just a technological achievement, it's a statement of intent. To really understand why this missile matters, you have to look at the bigger picture. This isn't just about military capabilities, it's about the political and strategic context in which this weapon has emerged. And when you look at that context, you start to see why the Fateh-1 has everyone so concerned. For Iran, the Fateh-1 is a direct response to the increasing tensions with Israel and the United States. Both nations have made no secret of their concerns about Iran's nuclear ambitions, with Israel even warning of potential military action if Iran crosses the nuclear threshold. The Fateh-1 serves as a countermeasure, a way for Iran to say, we're not defenseless, and we're ready to respond if provoked. In a region where power dynamics are constantly shifting, having a hypersonic missile in its arsenal gives Iran a significant boost in its deterrence capabilities. The stakes became even clearer in October 2024. During a series of missile strikes on Israel, reports suggest that the Fateh-1 may have been used in these attacks, and fragments of the missile were allegedly found at the sites. This marked a major escalation in the already tense relationship between the two countries. For Israel, the use of the Fateh-1 was a wake-up call. Its multi-layered defense systems, the Iron Dome, David's Sling, and the Arrow system, are some of the most advanced in the world. Yet, they struggled to respond effectively to a hypersonic threat. This incident highlighted just how much of a game-changer weapons like the Fateh-1 can be, not just for Iran, but for the entire region. But the implications go beyond Israel. The development of hypersonic weapons like the Fateh-1 could spark a dangerous arms race in the Middle East. If Iran has this capability, other nations in the region might feel compelled to develop or acquire similar weapons. This could lead to a spiraling competition that makes the region even more volatile. And let's not forget the role of outside players. The US, which has a vested interest in the stability of the Middle East, would likely step up its own military presence and support for allies like Israel. This, in turn, could further escalate tensions. Fateh-2, the next nightmare. If you thought the Fateh-1 was concerning, wait until you hear about its successor, the Fateh-2. Iran isn't just resting on its laurels after developing its first hypersonic missile. It's taken things a step further. The Fateh-2 represents a new level of sophistication and capability, signaling that Iran is serious about becoming a major player in the hypersonic arms race. So, what exactly makes the Fateh-2 such a big deal? For starters, the Fateh-2 has an extended range, reaching up to 1,500 kilometers. That's a significant improvement over the Fateh-1, giving Iran the ability to strike targets deeper into enemy territory. With this kind of range, the Fatah-2 can hit key locations in Israel, the Middle East, and even parts of Europe, all while remaining out of reach of most countermeasures. It's a clear demonstration that Iran is not just developing weapons for defense, but also for long-range strategic purposes. But the range isn't the only improvement. The Fatah-2 comes with enhanced maneuverability, making it even harder to intercept. Remember how we talked about the Fatah-1's ability to zigzag and change direction mid-flight? The Fatah-2 takes that to another level. Thanks to advanced aerodynamic controls, it can adjust its trajectory with incredible precision, evading even the most advanced missile defense systems. For countries like Israel, which rely heavily on systems like the Iron Dome, David Sling, and the Arrow, this is a nightmare scenario. These defense networks are designed to counter traditional ballistic missiles, not highly agile hypersonic threats that can change course at a moment's notice. The Fatah-2 also incorporates cutting-edge technology to optimize its performance during re-entry into the atmosphere. One standout feature is its use of spherical solid fuel engines and movable nozzles, which allow it to adjust its attack direction more flexibly. This means it's not just fast and maneuverable, it's also highly accurate. Combine this with its stealth capabilities, and you have a missile that's incredibly difficult to detect, track, and intercept. Even if defense systems spot the Fatah-2, reacting in time is a whole other challenge. For Israel, this raises serious concerns. Its Arrow system, specifically designed to counter long-range ballistic missiles, is now facing a threat it wasn't built to handle. The unpredictability of the Fatah-2's flight path makes it a formidable opponent, capable of bypassing even the most sophisticated defense layers. Imagine the chaos if a missile like this were to target a major city or military installation. It's a scenario no defense planner wants to think about, but must prepare for. Beyond its technical capabilities, the Fatah-2 sends a powerful message. Iran isn't just developing these weapons to keep up with global powers, it's using them to assert its growing influence in the region. The Fatah-2 is a clear signal that Iran's military capabilities are advancing rapidly, and it's not afraid to show the world what it can do. This isn't just about defense, it's about reshaping the power dynamics of the Middle East and beyond. What does this mean for the US and the world? The development of missiles like the Fatah-1 and Fatah-2 isn't just a regional issue, it's a global one. These hypersonic weapons are forcing countries like the United States and its allies to rethink their entire approach to warfare. Despite pouring billions of dollars into hypersonic research, the US finds itself facing growing challenges from nations like Iran, Russia, and China. So, what does this mean for the US and the rest of the world? For the US, the rise of hypersonic threats highlights a major vulnerability. America has long been seen as a leader in military technology, but hypersonic weapons present a unique challenge. Traditional missile defense systems, like THAAD and Aegis, are highly effective against ballistic missiles, but they struggle to counter the speed and maneuverability of hypersonic missiles. This means that even with its massive defense budget, the US is not invincible. The Fatah-2, with its stealth and agility, could potentially bypass America's most advanced defenses, raising questions about the country's ability to protect itself and its allies. This isn't just about technology, it's about strategy. Hypersonic weapons are reshaping the way wars are fought. In the past, military planners relied on the idea of deterrence. If one side had overwhelming firepower, the other side wouldn't dare to attack. But hypersonic missiles complicate this equation. Their ability to strike quickly and unpredictably makes it harder to rely on traditional deterrence strategies. For the US and other nations, this means rethinking everything from defense systems to response protocols. The implications go beyond the battlefield. The proliferation of hypersonic weapons is creating a global security dilemma. If countries like Iran continue to develop these technologies, it could trigger an arms race, with other nations scrambling to catch up. This is especially concerning in regions like the Middle East, where tensions are already high. The more hypersonic weapons are developed and deployed, the greater the risk of miscalculation or escalation. A single mistake could lead to catastrophic consequences, not just for the countries involved, but for the entire world. At the same time, Hypersonic weapons are shifting the balance of power on a global scale. In the past, the US, Russia, and China dominated the arms race, but nations like Iran are now stepping into the spotlight. This isn't just about military capabilities, it's about geopolitical influence. Countries with hypersonic weapons hold a significant advantage, not just in warfare, but in diplomacy. They can use these weapons as leverage in negotiations, forcing other nations to take them more seriously. For the rest of the world, the rise of hypersonic weapons creates a sense of uncertainty. How do you plan for a future where defense systems might not be enough? How do you maintain peace when the threat of a hypersonic strike looms over every conflict? These are the questions that nations must grapple with as they navigate this new era of warfare. In the end, the development of missiles like the Fata-2 isn't just a technological achievement. It's a wake-up call. It's a reminder that the nature of warfare is changing and the world needs to adapt. Whether this leads to greater cooperation or increased conflict remains to be seen. But one thing is clear: the age of hypersonic weapons is here, and it's reshaping the global landscape in ways we're only beginning to understand. So, what are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments below.